you're just happy to do it, you're an amazing wife. So you're going to have a happy life because you don't have any expectations of him. But it's a missed opportunity for him to be able to do something for you, and then you can then say to him, thank you, you made me feel really good.
But then I do think of a lot of things that he does do, so he doesn't make it as an issue. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. In a marriage, so we're giving one example, but obviously you have to put it in the context of the whole marriage and see where else does he give you those things that, to make you feel...
That's the compromising that I think that we do, which is that you don't feel like you've done something that you don't feel... זה נותן לך להרגיש רע שאתה ויתרת על משהו.
Yeah.
Because you think
because you don't feel like you're a rag, that's why, because you know that you're not the doormat that has to do everything, because there are things which he does to bring into the marriage, which is great. Okay? Well, we're just giving an example where this is an opportunity for a man to it's a win-win situation. If it's used that way. Yeah, like we gave the example a few weeks ago about a man doing the washing up. Okay? So he's thinking to himself, if I do the washing up every time, she'll get used to it, and I won't even get praise for it. So I won't do it every time, I'll do it once a month, and then she'll really feel that out of the ordinary, and then she'll praise me. Okay? Which is crazy, because obviously you want her to have less work, and you want to be helping, and that's not the right attitude at all. But unfortunately, that's a bad communication, where there's no teamwork to make things, if he knew that he'd always get the ego stroke, then he'd always want to do the washing up. Right? I think when we said this last time, the heads were nodding because we spent a lot of time bringing out the point. Because that's really what the man really wants from his wife. More than anything else. To feel a hero. We said in two major areas, right? Which was to feel that he supports her in a way that, she can't function without him. Yeah, whether it's in making decisions in the house and money and things like that, because there's one example of it. Yeah, or in the bedroom, we said that's a major another issue. A man really needs to feel that he's a king. Right, because in those areas he feels the best, So if he can just do a bit of washing up and feel that, because she's just going to go to town on it, say, "Wow, I really appreciate you. Really did something amazing. It made a big difference to me." And I every time I do something and my wife does that to me, it's the most amazing feeling. Get a text message, and even if I prompted her to do it, and I still read the words from her, it feels good. It really feels good. Right? Because it's from her, not because that's how she feels about me. And I want my wife to feel that way about me. Right? It makes me feel valued. It makes me feel special. It makes me feel like a person. And that I'm putting things in and it's being reciprocated.
When you think about it, it's at work as well. When you do things you want to be recognized for.
Absolutely.
When you don't, you're just stuck in that way.
But how much more so from the person that you, as a soulmate, you want to dedicate your life to.
Rabbi, one thing that I find interesting is like maybe 50 years ago saying Aden or Baghdad or somewhere, Casablanca, like, is it a generational thing? Because you can't imagine a man would get up and go, I'm going to go and wash the dishes. Or,
my take on it is as follows. There was always a need for this. But it was done in a completely different... The etiquette was so different. There was roles for the men and there was roles for the women. And so if a man did something much more smaller, like buying his wife a gift, or just acknowledging something. I mean, we see how they live their lives.
There's no women rights.
We're slaves, right? Really, today.
Yeah.
There's no women.
So
there was no divorces.
But there would have still been an area where he would go out of his way to make his wife feel special. And then in that society, that would have been seen as, wow, you're such a special husband compared to what the expectations are. So now our society, the expectations are much higher from a woman because rightly so. I'm just saying, but it's still the effort that you put in and how it gets acknowledged.
Right,
okay.
Can I just raise one thing? You started off about the old lady. Sometimes I think of my mum in that relationship, that your mum can ask you something, but if you do it for your mum, then your wife might think, why are you doing it for her, but you're not doing it for me? And it's like, I feel like I'm on my toes, that I have to impress my wife more than my mum.
No, you should.
That's what you should be.
You should, yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely right. Because any woman that comes into a marriage where you've got a close relationship between a boy and his mother, which is a natural thing, right? It's a very, really special bond. Every mother will tell you that mother she has a bond with the son, yeah? And the wife comes in, she's going to be threatened by that, I mean, it takes time to be accepted into the degree where you think, actually, one's got nothing to do with the other. But if you just say that to her, that's not going to necessarily make her feel that. It only comes through actions and through time. Yeah, that doesn't mean you shouldn't go and visit your mum. Doesn't mean you shouldn't go and have breakfast with her sometimes. Doesn't mean nothing should be ruled out. as long as the balance is there, as long as there's a good balance where you're making your wife feel, that she's number one as well. Yeah? Or more so, especially in the beginning of the marriage. So important. That's why it says in the halakha, you literally have to go away from your parents and the husband and wife go and do their own thing. And I know that I went to live in Israel after I got married in Israel, and I was living there away from all of my family. And what you achieve in 1 year away from your family, in terms of concentrated love and becoming like a team, is unbelievable. On the other hand, your parents, the support they give is also so valuable, especially if you're having a baby. You can't imagine functioning without it. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying the point is it's a balance. You see the positive and the negative. There's no question, if there was no parents around, I mean, my wife and I in Israel, living in this place, away from everything, we only had each other to rely upon, and get all the Israeli arrogance and the going to a shop and buying things and arguing, etc. Right? You have to cope because you've got each other, that's it, yeah? So you become very close very soon. It's like 10 years spending the time where you're living in England, in Hendon, and you see your parents every other day, and they cook for you, and they look after the kids, and you call them interfering, not interfering, but they're there in your face all the time. But you love them. But you just takes longer for you to become as an item, as one, because of this other interference which is there. Yeah? But that's natural. You just have to work it through it. But there's no question, husband and wife have to become much, much closer than parents. I gave the example last week. If my mum asked me to come around and fix something in the house, it's fantastic. I go around there, I'm such a king. Every movement I make, Ulak, my son, don't get hurt, you work so hard, you're sweating. Wow, Hashem gave me the brains, you know what to do. Let me make you a cup of tea. Yeah, and the meal I'm going to get at the end of it, it's like, the praise, and then she'd ring up my wife and say, he worked so hard, you know what he did for me, I'll never forget it, And I come home, my wife wants me to fix something. Who's going to clear up afterwards? Don't even mess. You live in this house too, it's not for me, it's our house, So you're not going to feel that praise, okay? It's not one or better or one or worse, it's just that's the nature of it, yeah? But if I knew that my wife was going to give me this ego stroke at the end of doing this job, I'm going to feel the job becomes so easy to do. I want to do it. Because we're gonna be so close afterwards. I'm gonna feel really close to her. Affection's gonna come after this. I'm gonna do something that's gonna make her so happy, and she's gonna be so appreciative. There's gonna be all these ego strokes and everything. It's gonna be so good. That's why we got married. Okay, we're coming to towards the end of the evening. Yeah, I think we've basically covered. Any questions on anything that we've said before I just summarise it all? Any questions?
How to prevent the nagging woman again?
Yeah, so this is what I'm going to summarise now. Men and women are different. They communicate differently. To basically just give the main points of what we said this evening is that women talk indirectly, as they do with other women to each other. Men speak very direct. Okay? I'm going to take something from next week, so I'll give you something to look forward to. I'm not here next week, but when we next find the session, please go, probably be after sometime Sukkot maybe. We have to break now. I don't know if we're going to get a week in between. We'll have to see. But whenever it is, I'll give you a little snippet from the next session. Men are problem solvers, like you said, Jonathan. You go hunting to get the game and come home, the food, and cook it, and you say, look what I conquered, or I hunted it, and I came home with it, with a result. And we therefore expect everything that we do is a problem that we have to solve. And what we're going to see is that 99.999999% of the time, women do not care about your opinion, and they do not want you to solve any problems whatsoever, at all. And even if they say to you, right, it's going to have to be taken in, we're going to session, you'll see what I'm saying. Even if they say to you, what's your opinion? They don't even want your opinion, right? And you should turn around and say, do you really want my opinion? Are you sure? Right? And you'll get an answer where she's not even there. She didn't even hear what you said about that bit, right? Because she's actually communicating with you indirectly with lots of details about what's going on in her mind, and she wants to share it with you, and that you should understand what's going on. And we're going to explain in the next session very simply what you have to do in that when you communicate in that way. All right? Okay, we're going to say it's funny, but it's very, very, clear. It's very clear what she needs, and she's going to be happy, and the communication is going to work. Right? Sometimes she does want your opinion, but it's very seldom. Okay? So therefore, that very nicely shows us how we should not be trying to solve any problems. Right? Women are going to talk with lots of details and indirectly, and we should expect that. That's what she likes doing with her friends, typically. Right? And so therefore what? Go easy on her. Let her do that. But women realise that men are being lost with all those words. Right? If you can talk directly when you talk to him with less words, it will definitely make it easier to communicate for him to get the instruction. For example, can you get a bottle of milk with the blue top? Nothing else. Not an extra word, right? Not that it's in the fifth aisle where with cheese and they've got a special offer, and last week it was there and I met Mrs. So-and-so when I was buying it and then he's lost it.
No please, no please.
It's all gone. It's out the window. You've lost it. I'm even saying it simply. It's much more complicated than that, because that's just the milk. But you told him also go to the other shop and to go to drop something to your mother and to her mother. And it's, at the end of it, he's just thinking, I want to get home in time because I've got to do something, I've got to watch the game or whatever, and I've got to get all this out of the way, make my wife happy, I get ego stroke and I watch the game, right? That's what's going on, right? But he also wants the wife to be happy, but you have to make it easy for him, right? So it's just say, the milk, call me from the shop and I'll tell you where to find it when you're in the shop. Right? Because he's not an idiot. He'll go to the shop and say, I want the milk with the blue top, and he'll get it, right? He'll ask the lady, right? But that doesn't, he won't go and ask the lady, because his wife gave him the instructions and he has to live by those instructions. He has to call her up, and everyone will go backwards and forwards, and it was an engaged thing, and there was some other, and then he'll call her up and there'll be 6 other things that have to go on the list as well. Right? And and somebody else rang up with a message which is very important, and then he's going to forget again the point of the milk. Right? I think you get the point, right? So women, go easy on the men. That's what we discussed today. That means to talk more directly and to not to use lots of words. Men, understand that women really do have things that they want to share, and we have to accept that. That's how it is. So the way to get past the nagging wife, the target is to make him understand how you feel the first time you tell him to do it. I'm going to say it again. It's on the sheets. To make him understand how you feel the first time you tell him to do it. Right? Think about it. That means there's a specific reason why I'm talking to him, and I want him to know that reason, and everything else is not important. Okay? And then your communication will be much, much more easier.
Well, for example, they say, oh, I love you so much, you're so great. Can you change the light bulb?
Now you're using strategies how to get him to do it.
No, I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to work out the sentence.
That
I'm
is-
thinking.
I just want to, without being rude, thinking about just because of who you are, right? That's the exact opposite of what I meant. Because what has loving him got to do with telling him to change the light bulb, Habibi? Right? It's got nothing to do with changing the light bulb. You're such a woman. Right? You want to tell him you love him, write him a nice note, send him a text message, and don't connect it to the light bulb, because it's got nothing to do with
It's
that.
nothing to do with the light bulb. Alright. Now, I'm just saying in Hebrew in my head, that sentence.
Yeah.
So give me an example.
You want him to change the bulb, say, look, my dear.
No, not the
No,
bulb.
no.
This sentence. Give me an example of that sentence.
להגיד לו את זה, ישר, פעם ראשון שיקבל את זה.
How you feel the first time you tell
Tell
him.
him how you feel.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I said, you're so great, you're so amazing, which I do think he is. That's what I meant. I mean, did I got it the wrong way? Okay.
Now, I want to make him understand why it's important to you. Right now I understand what you meant by the love thing,
Did you
because
get
you're saying,
me? Yeah, maybe I
because,
just
because
translated
if you
wrong.
love me, then you'll do it for me.
Feel.
Yeah, but that's already got too many words. When I say how you feel about the light bulb, being
All right.
changed, it's really important to me to change the light bulb. I'll be so happy because I'll be able to see what I'm doing, and I won't cut my finger.
In that way,
and,
okay.
that sort of thing.
That's
right?
what I mean, yeah.
Right? And then again, go to the end and then summarize. Please, can you change the light bulb now?
Please. Now. Okay.
Now.
All right.
The now is the seller.
Okay.
Right?
That's the...
That's it. Okay, I'm going to stop over here. Everyone, Shana Tova. Have a great year. A happy year with your husbands and wives together. Mitzvah Shem. Mishpachah B'Yisrael.
Amazing. So, good.
Can have an easier hug.